All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Roy Pinar, and I'm the proud band director here at St. Louis Park Middle School. Tonight, you're going to see three different groups perform. Up first is our beginning band, which is a group for students who have never played an instrument before. Then you're going to see the Park Band 6, and then the Oriole Band 6. We have a great problem. We have a lot of sixth graders in bands. We had to split them up in two groups, so which is why we have the Park and the Oriole Band. So tonight you're going to see kind of for beginning band, you're going to kind of see a showcase of the learning that happens throughout the year. Raise your hand if you have played an instrument before. Fans, yes. And raise your hand if it was hard at the beginning. Was it hard? Look around you. Playing an instrument is hard. And you're going to be able to see kind of that growth in the music difficulty and overall just the quality of sound. So before we get started, I am going to ask our Oriole Band students if we can turn our voices off. Thank you. And without further ado, we're going to get started. Let's give it up for the beginning band. There it is. Awesome. Thank you so much, folks. Again, beginning band, in my opinion, I think it's really important to have a variety of entry levels for students because traditionally, 5th grade is kind of the only time to join band. And if you missed that, maybe you're sick or maybe you just weren't interested, which is why I'm really glad that we have this beginning band program where 6th, 7th, or 8th graders can all sign up for band. And I think that's what music should be. You should not be limited to sign up for a class you love just because they didn't offer it. So that's something that we're really trying to strive for. And students, beginning band students, I hope you keep playing, whether that's in Band 7 next year or somewhere else, but I hope you guys keep playing. Once again, folks, playing an instrument is really hard, and I'm just so proud of these kids for how much work they put in. Can we give them another round of applause for these kids? All right. Beginning band is going to close a portion of a concert with a piece called Farm Out, otherwise known as Old MacDonald. And then you're going to see Park Band come on stage, and then we'll end with the Oriole Band. Thank you again so much, folks. test. All right. Oriole Band students, I'm going to ask for our voices to be off. Thank you. All right, folks. So up next, you're going to see our Park Band, which are our students in 4A and 5B Band 6. And these students have been, they've been in band all year, and along with most of them were in band last year. So now we're almost at about 2 years of musical growth, and I think you're going to see and hear that growth, especially from our December concert. Tonight, we're also going to feature our students to introduce the pieces. You're going to hear some student voices come up and share a little bit about each piece. And we're going to start with Lana and Violet. So Lana and Violet, come on now. Let's give it up for Lana and Violet.
My name is Lana and I play the flute.
My name is Violet and I play the flute.
And this is Celebratory Fanfare.
Composed by Scott Watson.
Celebratory Fanfare is a perfect band starter with all of its exciting energy.
Hope you enjoy.
Thank you. All right, thanks, folks. One thing that's been very clear to me is I love the camaraderie. I can see Park Band, Oriole Band rooting on for each other, which is great. This next piece is really, really cool. It's really new, and Emma and Rowan are going to tell you about it. Here is Emma and Rowan.
Hi, I'm Emma. I play the trombone.
Hi, my name is Rowan, and I play the trumpet. This is a piece called Pixels.
This piece is based off of a video game. Instead of using traditional measures, it has levels.
This piece is composed by Robert Standridge. Randall.
We hope you enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. A couple things too. We have a few students. A couple students have been asked to do double duty tonight because of some instrumentation. So I want to give a shout out to Fred and Thomas, and I know Wiley, Bram, Wiley, Charlie, Soren. They were all bouncing around, so appreciate our percussionists. Before we play our final piece for Park Band, when you're done, you're going to exit and take a seat here, or a band, come on up. I just want to say a couple thank yous. Thank yous to parents and guardians for supporting your students to play an instrument. In my opinion, playing an instrument is a priceless experience, which I know you have found that it is pricey in some ways. But so I really appreciate you supporting your students to practice and to get through it and to continue on. I'm the only band teacher here, and I really hope to teach your student for all 3 years. That's one of the joys that I find in my job, to see these kids through for 3 years. And then lastly, I know we have a lot of staff here helping out, and along with our custodial staff, helping everything get set up. And we have some high school students running lights and sound, so I think that's really, really cool that we have some students helping out with production. Let's give it up for those students. That said, Linus and Philip are going to tell you a story about our final piece. Thank you again.
This is The Gathering Storm. My name is Linus and I play the flute.
And my name is Philip and I play the trumpet.
Dark clouds begin to roll in, covering the horizon in a blanket of gray.
On one still day feels a breeze begin to stir and the trees begin to sway.
There is a current of electricity that creates a tangible feeling of heaviness in the air.
A storm is coming. How long will it be? How long will it last? Only time will tell. This is The Gathering Storm. Hope you enjoy.
everybody. Park Band. Thank you, folks. Behind me, we have our Oriole Band, which is comprised of our 1B and 5A students. They've been very patient waiting to perform, so let's give them a big round of applause. All right, as you may notice, the pieces are the same, the orders are different, the students are different. Up first, Selden and Amelia are going to introduce the first piece. Let's get off to Selden and Amelia.
Good evening to all of the families and friends that came to our band concert. My name is Selden,
And my name is Amelia.
and we both play the trumpet.
Our first song is named Pixels by Rondell D. Standridge. Randall.
He says, "It's no secret that I'm a lifelong gamer. I've logged more hours with the controller in hand than I care to admit across Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Xbox, and yes, even the elusive TurboGrafx 16.
He says, with Pixels, I wanted to channel the spin-in of those classic 8-bit and 16-bit soundtracks that define so much of my childhood. The bleeps, the bloops, the heroic themes of as you battled pixelated villains and save princesses or galaxies or whatever needed saving that day. This is my musical love letter to all of it."
Structurally, this piece is built around the first 6 notes typically taught in the beginning band, making it approachable for your younger players, but it also introduces some accidentals like concert D-flat, etc. My musical Pixels keeps things punchy and fun, creating a sort of digital bounce. So grab your instruments, press start, and let's play. Peace, love, and music. We hope that you enjoy this piece.
thank you, folks. Couple things too. Big week in music here. So tonight we have our Band 6 beginning band. Tomorrow we have our jazz band, Band 7, and Band 8 concert. We have a lot of 6th graders here who are in jazz bands, so thanks for 2 nights in a row. And then on Thursday, I believe, is the orchestra concert. And then Friday, I'm going to be taking the 8th graders to this festival called Trills and Thrills, which is a festival where they get to perform a concert in the morning, they receive feedback from professional judges, and then they get to go to Valley Fair. So that's something that all 8th grade music students, band, orchestra, choir are doing. This is something that we started years ago with just band, and we had an orchestra or a choir and then orchestra. So if you're in an 8th grade music class or one of those classes, you'll get to go on that trip when you're in 8th grade. So something to think about. Up next, we have Gibb and Weston to introduce the next piece. Let's get for Gibb and Weston.
Hi, I'm Gibb.
And I'm Weston, and I do the trumpet.
I play trombone. Our second song of the evening for this band section, we are playing "The Gathering Storm" by Matthew R. Putnam.
As our longest piece of The Gathering Storm is both a stirring and ominous song.
As you'll hear, every instrument will come together to create a thundering gathering storm. You'll feel in the midst of a hurricane.
We hope you enjoy!
Thank you, Gibb and Weston. I think next time I'll just give them the mic and see where that goes. All right, thank you, folks. We got one more for you tonight, which I can't believe it's gone by so quickly. Here we are. So again, just a couple of other words I just wanted to share. I really hope that your student continues playing their instrument. I really do believe that is a lifelong skill. And if you are looking for more outlets outside of school for your student to play instrument, we are very lucky here in the metro area to have many, many different groups outside of St. Louis Park, including like Minnesota Junior Winds and Gypsies and other groups and organizations that are really pro music and they're pro with supporting students in music. So if you're interested in your student getting more and more music, please talk to me. That said, we have Jacob and Quinn are going to introduce our final piece of the night. A couple other housekeeping items. We will not be playing the rest of the week, students. You can take your instruments home. I know that's always a big question. And then just lastly, parents, I gave you a big thank you earlier. I just want to say, students, thank you for all of your work this year. And I know that playing music can be really, really hard, but you've done a brilliant job. Can we give it up for all of these students one more time? All right, Jacob and Quinn, take it away.
I'm Jacob, and I play the clarinet.
And I'm Quinn, and I play the trumpet.
This is Celebratory Fanfare by Scott Watson, and time flies when you're having a fun time, right?
Yeah, this song is about to funk you up too.
Hope you enjoy.
Thank you, Jacob and Quinn. One more time. Thank you, folks. We hope to see you at future music concerts. Thank you again for supporting the arts, and go Park. Have a good night. Drive safe.